Hi guys, and welcome to Multitap Media. We're back again with another episode. This time we're going to talk about the history of Mortal Kombat. Just a little bit of like what it meant to us and just why we enjoy it as a whole. Once again, I'm Dan Vargas and this is
Alex Monroy.
And let's get started. So, Mortal Kombat has a really vast history of content. Started from like 1992.
Yeah.
And
First game was in 92.
yeah, we're already in 2017. That really shows our age now. All right. Anyways, really, we want to go like about how this game, how this whole franchise came to us, and just like what are some of your memories about this Mortal Kombat as a whole?
Well, I grew up playing it with my brothers. I had a Super Nintendo, obviously, and at the time it was like nothing we had seen before. You know, digitized characters. It was weird. You know, it was a weird experience. You really didn't play anything like that. If you were playing fighters, you were used to things like Street Fighter, where it was animated sprites. And then you came to this game, and it was like completely on a different level with the digitized characters, with the violence, with the fatalities. Everything about it was just so surreal at the time. You know,
yeah,
it was definitely neat.
My first time, I remember hearing people talk about Mortal Kombat, and I think the first time I actually played it was in an arcade, probably in a movie theater.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think it was like over here. There used to be a place called Amboy Cinemas, and like that was pretty much it. There was no like Lowe's, there was no Regal Cinemas.
Yeah.
That was the only theater that I think I had like 8 movies playing, because most theaters back then only had like 8 shows at a time. Anyways,
Yeah.
that was one of the only places that I knew that had a constantly changing lineup of arcade games. And I just remember playing that game, and I had no idea what the hell I was doing.
Yeah, for sure.
All I know is that people would, like, you could see blood, and I'd never seen blood in a video game before.
Yeah.
And I was hooked. I didn't even know there was controversy about it. I thought it was just like, okay, people die in a video game. I had right past my head.
Yeah. I think you were so shocked. There was so much shock value in how violent it was that you didn't even concern yourself with, like you said, the controversy. And then it came out later that you saw on the news, and it was like one of the first big games that it became notorious because of that violence. And, you know, again, at the time, that wasn't something that was common.
Was that was the reason why for we have the rating system today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely influenced the rating system. And actually, the Super Nintendo version didn't have blood.
Yeah, I had the Sega version.
Right.
I didn't have Super Nintendo.
Which had the blood cover.
Yeah.
But the Super Nintendo version didn't have blood, so I actually didn't even know, because like you, I had played the arcade version, but I played it much later. So when I played the SNES version, it was like, you know, you would punch them and it'd be like, I guess, sweat or whatever that would come out instead of blood. They still had the fatalities, but it just wasn't nearly on the same level of violence. So when I first had seen it in its true form, I was just like, wow, this is ridiculous, like how violent this is.
So, to you, what's your favorite Mortal Kombat game then?
I'd have to go with probably the second one, because I have the most fond experiences as a child, and I spent the most time on it. Because when my dad purchased it for Christmas, he actually bought it with the strategy guide. Mm-hmm. So it was the first time that I was able to unlock all the secrets. Because Mortal Kombat was great in the sense that it had lots of secrets. Obviously, the fatalities. At the time, we didn't have access to the internet. So you didn't know really the fatalities unless you were able to like find out by accident or something like that. So having the strategy guide really allowed me to like learn how to access the secret characters, all the fatalities, and that was really like.
You see, what I ended up doing, I remember there'd be one kid that would have like a Game Pro magazine.
Yeah.
And then I would actually just write all the fatalities down, and you couldn't print nothing. There's no cell phones, there's nothing.
Yeah,
That's how you had to do it.
Yeah.
I remember there was also a stupid cheat code that said you could see, you were supposed to be able to see the characters naked. And I remember everybody trying to do it. I think it was the April Fool's prank.
Yeah. I think I remember hearing about that.
It was from Mortal Kombat 2.
Right.
That was.
But there were a lot of secrets in Mortal Kombat 2 especially that it was like really interesting and innovative. Like remember the Shang Tsung one where you hold, well, I think it was low punch for like half the match, and then it was a secret fatality.
Oh, to be Kitaro, right?
Yeah, you turn into Kitaro, and that's part of the fatality. And it was one of those things where it's like hold the low punch button for 30 seconds. Like who would think of that? You know what I mean?
I just remember like the whole friendship thing was, the friendship fatality was like a mocking media and everything, trying to say that Mortal Kombat was extremely violent, which where Mortal Kombat is today, if they saw that back then, when I saw Mortal Kombat X, I even think the fatalities might have been a bit much for me.
Definitely. You see Mortal Kombat X and you're like, the old Mortal Kombats have nothing on it in terms of like the violence, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the developers feel like they have to one-up themselves each time they make a sequel.
Yeah, the graphics also take a little bit apart because now you can control so much more.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But what's your favorite?
My favorite is, now it's not actually one of the fighting games. It's Shaolin Monks.
Yeah.
Because there's something about me, I love co-op games. I like playing games where you work as a team. And, speaking of Shaolin Monks, this is Shaolin Monks right here. As a team to be able to achieve these goals. And it was pretty much a retelling of Mortal Kombat 2. But just the fact that you're Kung Lao and Liu Kang, it just worked for me, and that's why I ended up it just stuck with me as a really good Mortal Kombat game. Like the level design was fun, and I'm still waiting for an HD remake of that game because
at the very least like a sequel of some kind.
Yeah,
you know,
and the fatalities are pretty easy to pull off too. Even though it was like a beat 'em up style game.
Yeah,
but I know we had a lot of replay value playing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a little nervous, obviously, because before Shaolin Monks had come out, they had released a game similar in Special Forces starring Jax.
That was really bad.
And it was a beat 'em up, similar in style, not co-op, but just terrible. You know, not.
But you see, what happened was that was actually the second creator. Who was the second guy? There's Ed Boon and
John Tobias.
Tobias made that and Mythologies.
Yeah.
On his own, because since they made the game together. They shared it, and both of the games were panned critically, and I think he did one more game after that for the Xbox. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Tao Fang.
Yeah, that was it.
That was his own side project.
Yep, that was his own side project.
That was after he had left. With Ed Boon, they had split up. And at this point, I think he's doing like cell phone games. He's working for a company that does like cell phone games or something, but. Obviously they had creative differences, so that probably separated them.
Yeah.
The thing that was interesting about Special Forces, like you said, it was like completely different. I was a little concerned again because Special Forces was not a good game, but it was awesome. It ended up being really good, and like the whole co-op aspect was great, and it actually had like a full story, and that's one thing that I feel like separates Mortal Kombat from every other fighter. Especially
with part 9, I guess it's just called Mortal Kombat.
Right.
It was one of the first fighting games that actually had a legitimate storyline that was like really well done.
Yeah, and if you look at games like Street Fighter and Tekken, like they're what would be considered their rivals, like the story is always lackluster, or it's just not there, or it's almost non-existent. But with Mortal Kombat, there was always a good solid story. And that appeals to not only hardcore fighting game fans, but also just casual people who just, enjoy fighting games casually,
So as a final thought, like, what would you like to see next in Mortal Kombat?
Well, honestly, I think that ever since Ed Boon has teamed up with Warner Brothers and they've, created what's called now NetherRealm Studios, I think they did a phenomenal job with taking advantage of Warner Brothers' resources. Obviously with Mortal Kombat X, we had the great DLC characters like Leatherface and Predator and Alien. That was fantastic, but I'd like to see more. I'd love to see more guest characters.
Yeah, I would agree on that. If I could see T-1000, or even anything from Terminator, I would enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, take advantage of the fact that you have the rights to so many characters that you could potentially use.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks guys for watching. The next episode, we're actually going to go into the Mortal Kombat media because this world is expansive, and stay tuned for that. Once again, I'm Dan Vargas.
I'm Alex Monroy.
And thank you very much for watching.